and welcome back to Cullman Today. I'm Debbie Wood, and of course with us is right now Mrs. Doris Patterson. We were talking in the first segment about you being part of the Student Investment Foundation, and actually you're a board member along with your chairman, along with Terry Walker. Is that correct?
Right.
Those of you that know Terry, he's such a sweetheart from out at Walker's Builder at Bayleton, and the two of you co-chair. Makes it easier, doesn't it, to have two of you in there to help
It
each
does,
other?
except Terry decided that he has a meeting in Orlando this weekend,
Oh,
so
no.
he's going to not be there.
He won't, so you'll miss him.
But he's leaving us a check, so we're going to bid a lot on the silent auction items.
For him, on his
Right,
behalf.
yes.
Sorry, Terry. But let's talk just a little bit. You've been a board member now for a couple of years, but you were involved in the school system, the county school system before. What did you do?
I was the family and consumer science teacher at Fairview for 32 years.
Wow.
And when I started seeing student investment, I got interested because at that time we really were in need of money. It's better now that we got the half-cent tax, but
Yes.
there's so many things that the county schools can't offer because we just don't have the funding for it.
You didn't have it,
So I got involved actually by signing up at the bank for $10 a month. And my
Okay.
daughter, who's a teacher, said, "We pay $1 a month." And I said, "Jenny, $1 a month, $12 a year?" And TJ pointed out to me there are 20,000 people in Cullman County. If they gave $1 a month, we would have $20,000 for our school system. So a lot of our teachers actually have $1 a month taken out of their check, which doesn't sound like much, but when you put it all together, it is
adds up,
awesome.
doesn't it?
Exactly. So anyway, I did that, and then Terry called and said, "Miss P, you need to be part of this committee because it's really great," and it is.
It is.
And we've seen so many students receive
Benefit.
outstanding, teachers receive outstanding grants for their
Absolutely.
students. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about that. So many of the schools, I know when we first started doing it, a lot of us were real adamant about, got to have more arts and more music because that really benefits so many children. There are so many that cannot, their parents are working, they don't have time, the money, whatever, to get to a music teacher. So last year, I guess, you had, was it West Point that wrote a grant for
guitars, and we were all excited because they could reuse these. It's not something that's consumable. It's used over and over and over. So I'm not sure. I think it may be like fourth graders who get to learn guitar.
I love it.
And they're actually performing at the Student Investment Dinner on Friday night, and we're excited about that. Because they'll be able to show us what that money's doing.
Absolutely.
And
like you said, Doris, next year the students, the fourth graders coming up, will be able to use those guitars. And it's just what a great, and this is my hope and prayer is that we're able to do it in all the schools. Eventually, that all schools will have a little bit of music and music education and the arts in all of our schools. And it's going to take all of us, and it's going to take these kind of things, a student investment dinner, the fourth annual coming up, in order to do that, because it takes the money to do it.
Exactly.
But it also takes those teachers that see firsthand that it's needed, doesn't it?
Exactly. Our problem is we have more grants that ask for more money than we actually have to
the
give.
money.
But when we get more money, we can give more things out into the schools. Good Hope did a great grant for a couple years in a row with art supplies.
Okay.
Because, you can teach a child to draw with pencil and paper, but
Right.
they had some awesome activities they were doing in the arts because we were able to fund their art supplies. So, and we try to do more in music because we do know that students who have music are a little more intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Increases
weird.
your IQ.
I guess, I never learned to play the piano, so that's probably why I'm not so bright. But we are so excited that those kids are getting that opportunity.
Yes, we are.
We only wish we could do it in all our schools.
Absolutely, we do, absolutely. Now, once they write the grants, it takes a group of you that sit down and go over that. I went through that process once, I think, where you read that and you make a decision. It's not taken lightly. Everybody makes a decision and votes on who gets what, or grades it and gets what. have you already done that for this year? Or will
We
that happen?
have a stack of grants that are in now, and like I said, some of the people asked for more money than we can actually
Right.
afford to give. One group wanted like a TV station for their
Did they really?
school. What an awesome thing, I
Yes.
guess, to do like Channel 1. But it's more money than we can actually do. If we
Right.
did that, we'd only give a couple of schools, and we try to spread it out as much as possible. But we do. We go over each grant, make sure that they follow all the criteria, and we're just so excited when we're able to give lots of grants and see
Absolutely.
what it can do in our schools. And teachers all the time are like, when are those grants coming? Because
ready.
it's they need the money.
Yeah.
They need it. And
It
so,
helps them, doesn't it? It
yeah.
helps all of them. And now remember, 4th Annual Student Investment Dinner. It's coming up this Friday night. Brian Neesmith from West Point alumni is going to be our guest speaker, and I understand that he's going to be, I thought this was so neat, he's going to be in town this Friday. Is that correct?
Right, he is. At first we thought we might have him speak to some business people, and then we decided to do the seniors of all the schools in the county. They'll meet at Northbrook Church, I think at 10 o'clock, and he's hopefully going to give them a pep talk about it doesn't matter where you come from, it's where you're going and what you're
Exactly.
willing to do and how hard you want to work. And I am excited about meeting Brian. All the people who know him say that he's just really been a hard worker, and he's very bright and has done very well.
Same.
And so we're sorry that this is a little later. We had hoped he'd be here in October, but he
Right.
couldn't come because it's made our money come in a little bit later
bit
this
later.
year. But our banks and
People are
community
excited, aren't they,
people,
about it?
yes, and they've been very generous, and we appreciate that very much
See,
because every dime, every dollar counts.
It really does,
It
doesn't it?
does.
So we're so excited to be able to introduce him to you, and I can't wait to hear his story. I know it's going to be great, and it will be definitely be an encouragement for those seniors.
We hope so.
They have to be encouraged by it. Doris, thank you for what you do, and for all of the board members for what y'all do. And don't forget, now let's get your number too, Doris, because you've got tickets to sell. 256 if you want to get a ticket.
256-339-1123.
Okay, and we can get those tickets to you. And remember, it's a $25 donation if you want a single ticket. It will be held at Stonebridge. Again, thank you for what you do. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back with more right after this.